everybody, welcome to St Mary's Churchyard with glorious snowdrops. If you haven't been and seen the snowdrops, perhaps the director will pan round and you'll see there's a big white carpet of them down at the bottom end, the west end of the churchyard, down the slope. Do go and have a look before they go. They'll be around for a little while longer, but the daffs are beginning to come up now, so do come along. And there's lots of lovely aconites about too in the old vicarage drive and some in our drive as well. But it's quite nice to be standing here amongst the flowers, because I'm afraid this is going to be a slightly gloomy talk, because of course it's Ash Wednesday next Wednesday, the 22nd, and that's when Lent begins. Now you may not be giving up chocolate and other such things, but Lent isn't actually about slimming or about lifestyle choices. It's actually about reorientation. And one of the things we do on Ash Wednesday it's one of the strange things that the church does, among many strange things. At the special service we have, it's 11 o'clock communion service at Fearing, we make a sign of the cross on people's forehead in ash, but it's ash mixed with oil. And what we use is, we get the palm crosses from last year's Palm Sunday service, and we burn them and grind them as fine as we can, and then we mix that with olive oil, well any oil really, but olive oil is the traditional one. And so what you end up with is this. In the middle you've got the remains. You see, we need some more ash because we're running out, but round the edge you've got the gunge with the oil. Needs a bit of a mix, the oil and the ash mixed together. There we are, and we make the sign of the cross. I'm not going to do it on my forehead, but that's a bit oily, that one. It needs a bit more ash. So that's what we do. And as I do that to people, and as Tasha, my curate, will do it to me, the words that are said are, remember that you are dust, and to dust you shall return. Turn away from sin and be faithful to Christ. Remember that you are dust, and to dust you shall return. Turn away from sin and be faithful to Christ. Well, you think that's a bit gloomy, but it's unquestionably true. I did take the funeral of someone yesterday who was buried in the burial ground, and he was 63. This is 2 years older than I am, which makes you think. And it's only a few weeks ago, just over 2 months actually, since I did the burials of ashes of two 30-year-olds on the same day. And what we know from the terrible earthquakes in southern Turkey and northern Syria, and of course from the continuing weeping sore that is Ukraine, is that people are dying as we speak. And that in the midst of life, we are in death, as the prayer book puts it. And I've just heard somebody singing on the radio those words to a wonderful 17th century tune. So Lent is a time for reorientation. It's a time to think about what is life for. And one of the things that snowdrops remind us of coming up each year, they'll die back, of course, but they will resurrect, if you like, every year. And one of the things that the building behind us, and our director will finally zoom round, is a reminder that this life is not the only life. There is a life with God, an eternal life that goes beyond this life and will continue even when this very building has turned to dust, as it will do at some stage, I hope, in the far distant future. So I don't want you to have a miserable Lent, but I hope that rather than shying away from all the awful things that are in the world, this Lent you're able to reflect and confront and face those things that we don't usually want to face. And that's partly what Lent's about. And recognising that there is a greater life beyond this life, and something in God's eternal kingdom that's even more beautiful than snowdrops.